Right, we're at a beautiful farm called Witmos Cliff today. I actually did a video here before shooting dassies with my 177 S510. We had a good day there, but we're going to be doing something totally different this time. We stayed in an ox wagon camp last night. For those of you who don't know what ox wagons are, they're a very vital part of South Africa's history. When the Dutch arrived in South Africa, they landed in the Cape, and then they moved up inland on ox wagons, and they basically were the founders of this country. They moved in, they discovered all this land, they made mountain passes, and they basically lived in these little ox wagons. And these ox wagons you're seeing around the camp here are actually legit ox wagons that they've just been refurbished. They've put new canvas over the top, put beds inside, and we slept in those last night, which was a really cool experience. So there's a camp here where you can actually stay, and I'll put a link down in the video description, but it's a real taste of South Africa. We're out here in the mountains, beautiful scenery. It really just feels like you're really far from civilization. But yeah, we're just making some coffee at the moment, and then the plan is to head out after the ground squirrels. This is Luke, by the way. Luke is a good friend of mine, and he's going to be joining me on the hunt. We're going to be kind of alternating with the FX Impact, just shooting some ground squirrels, because obviously he'll be driving, and then we're going to stop and we're going to switch. So it should be good. Hopefully we get some. So we head out along the gravel road towards a section of the farm where we know there are plenty of ground squirrels. These fields provide grazing land for the sheep, but have also become the homes of large colonies of squirrels, which cause quite a lot of damage, both above and below the ground. These animals burrow, so their holes are absolutely everywhere, and because they eat so much, the grass and lucerne really struggles to grow wherever they feed. Our job today is quite simple. We want to put a dent in their population. We're going to be using the FX Impact again today, and we fitted the scope cam to the Hawk Frontier scope so that we can see any shots that are taken slow motion. We spot a whole bunch of squirrels almost immediately, but they seem to have had too much coffee this morning, and they just don't want to give us a chance to take a clean shot. Well, we just had quite a few ground squirrels get away from us there, unfortunately. There are a lot of them on this farm, and I don't know if you can see behind me here, but there's a green section of the land over here where the lucerne is growing quite nicely, and then there's a section here where it's all just been demolished by the ground squirrels. Their holes are everywhere along here, all over the ground. And they're just doing a lot of damage here. So if we can get a few, I'll be quite happy. But unfortunately, they're just getting away from us at the moment. We're just not quick enough. They get shot at here quite often. So when they see us coming, they get down their holes quickly. And I suppose we have to be a bit more on the ball in order to get one or two down. Let's keep at it. I'm sure we can get a few. And sure enough, right around the next corner, we get our chance. This one pops up nice and close, so we feed him some lead. It's a good solid headshot to start the day, but we're only just getting warmed up. The next shots are all from about 50 meters or so. I wouldn't call it long range, but they certainly aren't easy shots to take. So why choose an air rifle to do a job like this? Why not choose a rimfire like a 17 HMR or a 2-2 long rifle? Well, the 17 would be way too loud to use. The supersonic crack would scare off all the squirrels in the area. The 2-2 long rifle is definitely an option if it's suppressed and shooting subsonics, but what gives this particular airgun such a huge advantage is that it's incredibly quick to reload, and it has an 18 shot magazine, and of course we get 120 shots per fill. It is literally the perfect tool for the job. Right, here's the blood over here. It must have hit him right over here, and here's our ground squirrel. Here you go. Oh my word, his brains are just scrambled. Perfect shot through the head. This one's fairly small, but you know, it doesn't matter what size they are. Any ground squirrel gone is a good thing. See where the others are. A 12 foot-pound rifle probably wouldn't have any problem passing straight through the head, but the 30 plus foot-pounds that this gun is putting out definitely just helps to keep the trajectory as flat as possible. Right, things are going pretty well so far. Didn't have such a good start. We came up along the side and we saw some ground squirrels far away and having a really difficult time trying to range them. They were running around a lot. They seemed very energetic, but things started settling in eventually, and we managed to come across some that were a little bit closer. We could range them easily, and we managed to get quite a few. So very happy with that. I think we just got to keep driving and see what we can do. There's a lot of ground to cover, so we're going to stay on the back of the truck and kind of alternate between Luke and I, so we both get some shots in. We come into one of the fields and it looks like we end up gate crashing some sort of ground squirrel party. This one does not end well for the squirrels. I take one with a clean headshot and of course the rest scatter, and then this happens. Okay, what the heck? There seems to be some sort of cannibalism happening here. Where on earth have we seen this before? Well, let's rewind the clock to a video I filmed more than a year ago. The exact same thing happens. I shoot a squirrel and immediately another one runs right up to him and starts eating him. As I explained in that video, this is actually a defense mechanism. By eating any dead or dying squirrels close to their holes, they prevent predators like jackals from smelling the dead bodies. It actually makes sense. But anyway, I take a heart and lung shot on the cannibal. He crawls about 2 meters and then expires right on the spot. If we look at the replays here, you can see that the first squirrel was sitting perfectly still, so it was quite easy to line up on his head. And then of course, this whole drama unfolds, and naturally we want to end it as quickly as possible, so as soon as I'm comfortable taking the shot, I put a pellet straight through his vitals. Yeah, this was right in the chest. There's a pellet exited over there and came out somewhere on the other side, but that thick blood, that would have been right through the heart. So that's the first one down. This is quite a big one as well. And this one I think was through the head. Yeah, straight through the head. Bit smaller than the other one, but size doesn't matter when we're shooting these things. They just have to all be wiped out. They are such a big problem here. Once we've picked the squirrels up, it's straight back to business. Anton spots another colony, yep, and I managed to take 2 at the same hole. This one's been stopped here. Again here, these were both hit very, very hard. The first one with a headshot, and the second with a heart shot. At this point, I switch roles with Luke and he takes the impact. If you've seen my previous Dussie hunting video, you'll know that Luke is a very, very experienced shooter, and as soon as he gets his first opportunity, he makes it count. You on it?
Yep.
Luke lines up on another squirrel that's giving himself a bit of a scratch, and he takes another good headshot. Again, it's retrieval time, and as opposed to Dussie hunting where retrieval can be quite difficult, this is generally the easy part with ground squirrels. Some of them fall down their holes, but the rest of them drop pretty much right where they're shot. As you can see, they're really starting to pile up now. We're just having a little break. Going through a packet of chips. Party bag. Mrs. Ball's chutney flavor. I think you've got to be South African to know what Mrs. Ball's is. Basically a brand of chutney. Really good chutney made here locally. You like some chips, Anton?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Lekker.
Take those carbs away from me.
After the short break, we continue where we left off, and this one must have had some sort of death wish or something, because he just stood right in front of us. The footage here is a little bit blurry unfortunately, but you can still see the shot right through the heart and lungs. And here's the last shot of the day. It's actually quite a tricky one. I had to thread the pellet through a bush, but it all works out, and it's a clean headshot to end off a great day's hunting. Right, well, I would call that an extremely successful day. In fact, some of you might have seen an earlier hunt that I did last year where I went out and I shot ground squirrels with a day state wolverine. I think we managed to get about 5 or 6 on that trip over 2 days, and we've just come out here now in a space of about 2 hours we've shot 13. So definitely the most successful ground squirrel hunt I've ever had. The Impact did an absolutely fantastic job once again. You wonder why I do so many videos with the Impact. This is why. It's just such an easy gun to shoot with, and we've been out all day and I've only I mean, I haven't even used all the air yet in the cylinder. We've got a lot of shots in the magazine. It really just is really well suited to this kind of hunting. And it's cool because I have my friend Luke with me, and Luke got quite a few of these himself. And it was his first time shooting ground squirrel. So how did you find your first ground squirrel experience?
Yeah, it was great just to, especially here, there were so many and they weren't scared of us at all. They were running around and we were able to take lots of shots at them, which was great. And to get them with the air gun was a great challenge and yeah, very rewarding.
Yes. I mean, we weren't just out here blasting them with like a 17 HMR or a 22 250. We actually had to think a little bit about how the pellet's going to drop over different distances, you know, what the wind's going to do, and it's very rewarding once you do get them. So we're going to put these in the back of the bucky and we're going to take them back to the house, give them to the farm workers to eat, and then we're going to come out here tomorrow morning and see what else we can do. I'm sure we can do some more damage. They might be a bit more educated tomorrow. We may not get as many, but we've put a dent in the population. We've done our job. It's a good way to end the day. In the next video, we are going to head out after the ground squirrels once again, but this time we'll be taking some seriously long shots, many of them well over 100 meters. I think most of you will really enjoy that one, so subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.